a new one, and then we can have it like a separate assignment recording. I think that might work a little bit better. Okay, so guys, I've started a new recording now with regards to the assignment. So I hope that you have the assignment open on your side. Guys, please remember that, what I wanted to say now, actually forgot all my words. Okay, so what's with you guys? I always run out of words when I'm lecturing you guys. Or actually the one group. With the other group, I have lots of words, and then with you guys, I don't have anything. Cool. So guys, let's quickly go through everything. So referencing rubric. The only times that I'm going to send your assignment through to the academics is if you do not have in-text referencing and or you do not have a bibliography. And guys, I'm strict on this. If there's only one reference in a question, it's going to the academics and you will be charged with level 1 plagiarism. Okay. I'm not going to have a discussion on maybe you referenced, maybe only that one sentence was out of the textbook and the rest of the page was your own opinion. I'm not having a discussion about referencing. You can never reference too much. You can never over reference. And guys, if you use something out of the textbook in a question 10 times, you reference it 10 times. Okay. Do not think that referencing only once is going to cut it. So what I've done with the other group as well that I marked, if I can see that you referenced, but you don't really understand how to reference, you didn't really take the time to understand how to reference, I am allowed, according to the policy, to deduct marks for you. So the most that I will deduct is 5%, but I can deduct anything from 2, 3, 4, or 5% from your final mark. And I will give your name through to the information specialists, which is the librarians, and they will contact you separately to have so that you can go for additional training on how to reference. So guys, why I'm strict on referencing, not only are you guys law students, and law students need to know how to reference, but Varsity College on its own is very strict on referencing. So you will be charged with level 1 if you do not reference properly now, or if I send it through to the academics. In semester 2, they're even more strict. In your second year, if you are not charged with level 1 now, you will be charged with level 2 immediately. Okay. And level 3, you are essentially, you'll go for disciplinary hearing. Okay, so with level 2, if I remember correctly, that's either you'll get either 0 or 50% for your assignment. And guys, I mean, for something as stupid, and I'm going to use the word stupid, for something as stupid as not referencing properly to get only 50% or a 0, it's just not worth it. Okay, it's really not worth it. So let's rather be strict now with first semester assignments. And I can make sure that you guys get this right, than you guys, falling into a hole later on during your studies. So guys, now leaving on that positive note. So when we continue, the case study is on Airbnb, and there's roughly about 4 pages on Airbnb. So every single question that you answer inside of this assignment, you have to refer back to the case study. You can never answer a question without referring back to the case study, even if it's just a small scenario. So if they say Simon and Peter wants to open a car wash, and they ask you just something short, like a little paragraph, and they ask you 2 questions on that little scenario, you have to refer back to that specific scenario. So guys, if we go through the case study, you guys can see it's quite a lot. Okay. Okay, when we get to the questions, okay, so the first question says, discuss the competitive forces in the industry. So guys, where does my competitive forces lie? If you guys hear competitive forces, what person are you guys thinking of immediately? Okay, yes, Rochelle, Michael Porter. And this is in chapter 4. So I know you guys will remember that we did the 3 environments, which is micro, where the business is, market, and then macro. So in some textbooks, depending on which textbook you are using, some textbooks also refer to the market environment as the industry environment. So I actually like the industry naming convention a little bit more because it does just explains it a little bit better. So what they say is you have to discuss the competitive forces and provide evidence from the supplied case study to support your answer. Guys, this is 15 marks. So if we break this down, 10 marks is roughly, Nkosanabu, yes, what did you want to ask?
I'm sorry, ma'am. I just wanted to find out. I think I might have downloaded the wrong assignment. Is this under Business Management 1A under Documents and Assignments, right? If I'm not mistaken. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, Nkosanabu, I can hear you. So this is the assignment that I downloaded. I don't know if anyone else wants to confirm if they have the same assignment. Like I said, this is one I downloaded from your module. But let's quickly double check. Let me just quickly log in and then I can check. But like I said, this is the one that I downloaded. So if anyone else can just confirm, Liesel, I know you're always pretty quick, Rochelle. Okay. Nkosanabu, Rochelle
Yes,
says
ma'am, this is,
yes.
sorry, ma'am, this is the one that I got under on VC Portal. If you open VC Portal and you go to my modules, then you open business management, and then it says there's the module outline and the assignment. But
Yes.
it is on Portal under your modules, yes.
Yes. Nkosanabu, just quickly tell me where you got yours from. Did you get them from from the green or sometimes it's orange, the VC portal where you also got your module guide from?
Yes. But the thing is, it shows Business Management 1A and 1B. So I
Yeah,
have
no, that's
one
not
where
correct.
it's I have one that's 1B and I have one that's 1A.
Yeah, Nkosanabu, I'm worried that you maybe have. When did you download your assignment?
The 1A I downloaded today, and the other one I downloaded a while back when you told us on the
Okay.
session.
Okay, I understand. Okay. So Nkosanabu, you can check your 1A. Does it have the case study on Airbnb?
No, it has. This is one where it's talking about. What's this? Sorry, Lerato, who lives in Cape Town. That's the first
No.
case study.
Yeah,
And
no, it's definitely not that one. Nkosanabu, go back for me onto your portal and go under, like Lisa also said, go under my modules, go to the one that says assignments, I think module guides and assignments, and then
okay,
just go and make sure that you download the one that says Airbnb.
okay, no problem. I'll do that just now. Thank you.
Okay, yes, Lisa?
Hi, ma'am. Yes, there's business management. If you go under my modules, it's separated into business management 1A and then 1B. And I think if I'm correct, 1B will be next semester's module.
Yeah, that's next semester.
So he has to go and check for business management module 1A and then open that and then go to
Yeah.
the module outline and assignments.
Okay, cool, yeah. So in Kosonabu, just follow us today, make notes. But sure, you guys always give me such a fright. Even though I know this, because you guys and one of my other modules do the same assignment. So that's why I was like at least 99.9% sure it was the right one. But I just quickly want to go and check where in Kosonabu might have found this. Okay, who else is quickly? Okay, Shantae just quickly shared it onto the group, onto the one group. I just want to try and see where in Kosonabu maybe could have found the assignment. Okay, hundreds. So guys, let's continue in Kosonabu. You can just switch off your mic again. Otherwise, it does cause a bit of a delay. Okay, thank you. So in Kosonabu, just quickly go and download. Go back onto your VC portal and check if you can find the Airbnb assignment, because this will be the correct assignment. So guys, 10 marks of typing is roughly a page. So 15 marks will be anything between a page and a half to 2 pages. So you need to write in between 500 to 650 words. And what they've also asked here is that if you can please indicate your word count at the bottom of the page, just so that just so that I can check how much words you've actually used. Guys, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, and please do not abuse this, but I'm not going to physically count your words. Okay, I don't have time to count every single person's words. Okay, and Kosonabu found the assignment, guys. Yay! Okay, yay, awesome. Now we're all happy. Okay, so I'm not physically going to count your words, but obviously I can more or less gauge if it's 2,000 words that you've now used for the one question. Rather try and write the facts and write down the arguments for what you are saying than writing random gibberish thinking that you're going to get marks for it, if that makes sense. So plan your answer properly instead of just writing random stuff and hoping for the best. Okay, cool. So guys, then question 1.2 says, describe the type of economic system adopted in South Africa. Okay, guys, what are 3 economic systems? Quickly, go, go, go. Okay, 3 economic systems, anyone? Three economic systems. Okay, we have got command, which is communism. Then we have socialism. And then the last one is capitalism. Okay, so guys, economic systems in South Africa. What type of economic systems do we have? And it is socialism, communism, and capitalism. So they say here, describe the type of economic system that South Africa has. What type of economic system does South Africa have? Okay, so socialism. Okay, socialism, guys. So South Africa has socialism as our main economic system. Yes, we do have a little bit of free market or capitalism as well. So you guys can then describe the economic system here that we have in South Africa. Then explain the implications on Airbnb should South Africa implement a command economy. Okay, so what is another word for command economy? Communism. Okay, guys, all right, communism. So now you have to go back to the theory, guys, and with all of these questions, actually with any question, any paper you guys will ever write, start at the basics, and the basics are your theory. So go back to your theory. Say, what are the characteristics of communism? There's very little competition, as if no competition. government interferes, people are not allowed to have their own companies. So will Airbnb be able to exist in South Africa if we were to implement a command economy? Then you have to answer that. Question 1.3 says, discuss the importance of environmental scanning and explain how the founders of Airbnb scanned the environment before starting their company. So guys, environmental scanning is chapter 4. And remember what we said about environmental scanning. It's essentially like a radar. Okay, it goes beep, 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 beep the whole time. So once again here, they are asking of you to essentially write an essay on it, on what environmental scanning is. Go back to the theory, define environmental scanning, give an explanation of what environmental scanning consists out of, all the different characteristics or facts about environmental scanning. Afterwards, bring it back to the case study and apply the case study on the theory that you've just explained to the marker. Okay, so guys, what you'll do is you'll always have your definition, an explanation, and after your explanation, you will give an example. And in this case, the example will be the case study that you will use. Okay, cool. So guys, then the next question that you guys have to do, they say with reference to the above case study. So we are still not done with the case study. Describe 3 types of resources the founders of Airbnb needed most to start the company and explain how they acquired these resources. Quickly give me the resources that we have in that. Quickly give me the resources that a company needs. Come guys, resources that companies will use. Okay, we have capital. Next one. We have capital. Danica, what will equipment fall under? Well, equipment will also fall under capital. Then we have natural resources, which is also raw materials, entrepreneurship, and human resources, those 4. So we have capital, human resources, entrepreneurship, and raw materials. In this question, guys, they're asking, describe 3 types of the resources the founders of Airbnb needed most. Okay, needed most. So now you have to, so what I will do if I'm you guys, I will start and name all 4 of my resources, give a quick definition of all 4 of them, and then say the resources that you feel Airbnb needed the most. Let's quickly check. Did they need capital? Do you guys think they needed capital? Okay, yes, the bank says yes. Do they need human resources? Do they need humans? Yes. Okay. Do they need raw materials? Remember, Airbnb is a service. Do they need raw materials? Remember, we're only looking for 3. Okay. No, not really raw materials. If it was a company that maybe a mine or someone that created a product, yes, then you could have said raw materials. And then did they need entrepreneurship? Yes. Okay. Guys, there's your 3 resources. Entrepreneurship, capital, And the last one is human resources. They're not really using raw materials. I mean, they don't really need raw materials per se. Okay, so guys, when we move on to question 2, question 2, guys, is 40 marks. Okay, so if you really drove into the gate with question 1, you can still rectify yourself with question 2. So they say here, identify an organization of your choice with a strong corporate social responsibility drive in South Africa. You will be required to conduct, I don't know why we are still in the 1980s, you will be required to conduct desktop research. You guys can just use Google or the internet about your selected company in order to complete this question. Write an essay of 1,300 to 1,500 words answering the following questions. Okay, so guys, then they give all the instructions on what you have to do. One of the instructions I want you guys to note is this one. It says, when answering the questions, begin by discussing the relevant theory from your textbook and a minimum of 2 additional sources before applying it to your chosen organization. I don't want you guys to only use your textbook. Remember, this is an assignment. So I really want you guys to really use other textbooks as well. There are some wonderful business management textbooks in the library that you guys can use. Remember, Wikipedia is not a credible source. I'll be like very upset if you guys use anything about Wikipedia. You are not even touching Wikipedia with your assignment. I expect of you guys to go and look for articles. I expect of you guys to go and look for published works of other authors, other maybe people that are busy with their doctorates, masters, anything like that. So yes, Liesel, you guys can definitely use articles, but you're not going to Google the answer and the first answer that pops up you are going to use. You guys are not going to use anything that's not credible. So I'm thinking of people's opinions or random YouTube videos that some people have made just to get content farms essentially. I want a cleverly written assignment where you guys have used credible resources. What you guys can do for those of you that are really writing assignments for the first time, if you go into Google, literally Google Scholar. So this opens a separate Google platform that is largely for people that are studying, where you can find articles and stuff like that. So guys, if you're also struggling to find articles, I also put a PDF at the back of my search. So like corporate social responsibility PDF, and then you can find really nice articles that are already in a PDF. I don't want you guys to buy any articles. You guys have free access to all the platforms on the library's website. If you're struggling with something, you can ask the librarians. They are very, very good at helping you find certain articles that you are maybe struggling to find. I'll also give you guys what my second years are using a textbook on small business management, but this is a very nice sorry guys, this is a very nice textbook to use on Michael Porter, on social responsibility. So I'll give you guys the name of that textbook. You guys are welcome to go to the library and go and ask if you can just quickly maybe make a few copies out of that textbook, or just use that textbook if you're just really struggling to find any answers. So guys, what I also want to say here, remember in chapter 5, we spoke about Woolworth's farming for the future. So if you are really, really struggling to find companies that has a strong corporate social responsibility drive, look at your retailers. So, I mean, I won't mind if you guys use Woolworths. I know Spar also does a lot towards social responsibility. ShopRite also does a lot towards social responsibility. So definitely go and look at your retailers, and then go and look at banks as well. Banks are also quite involved in social responsibility, and they are quite prominent on what they give back to the community. But I mean, I honestly, guys, I won't mind if you use like ShopRite, Spar, Woolworths. If you're really struggling to find a company, I really won't mind. Okay, so the first one says, with examples from a chosen organization, describe the concept of corporate social responsibility. So what you guys are going to do here is you're going to go once again, go back to your theory and just explain what corporate social responsibility is. Then discuss reasons why your organization engages in social responsibility. It says that your discussion should include the value of the social responsibility contributions to the broader South African community. So this is kind of a two questions in one, where you have to explain the reasons why your organization engages in CSR and also the value of their contributions to South African community. So if you think of something like they have a soup kitchen and they feed 1,000 people a day. So essentially 1,000 people a day have at least one meal, and that already gives them the ability to to worry less about one of their meals that they will, for instance, get a day, for instance. Okay. Then provide your chosen organization with suggestions on how they may improve on their initiatives. So if you maybe have a soup kitchen, they can maybe also they can maybe donate food as well. If they have a reading program, they can maybe look at an after-school program or building a school or donating a library, for instance, something like that. And then also describe at least 5 stakeholders. So Lisa, no, you don't have to reference your own suggestions because that is your suggestions. So guys, remember, you only have to reference if you're using someone else's work. Okay, if you're using something that someone else has said. So if you are suggesting something or you are explaining something that really comes out of your own words, then you do not have to reference that. Guys, then when we look at the stakeholders, so let's say they use this table to help you structure your answers. So what they want you to do here is they want you to identify at least 5 stakeholders from your organization. So the first one, you have to identify who the stakeholder is. So a supplier, for instance. Then stakeholder classification. So guys, remember that you are studying primary and secondary stakeholders. So under the stakeholder classification, I expect of you to write primary or secondary stakeholders. Okay. And then the brief description of the stakeholder, just give a brief description of what impact this stakeholder will have inside of the company, for instance. So just give a brief description on the stakeholder. Guys, I want you to clearly put these 5 questions into links so that we can distinguish between question 1 and question 2. Okay, so if we, for instance, go back to question 1, I want question 1 in a heading, then I want a space, and I want to have question 2. Okay, do not like there's one student who literally started with question 1 and ended with question 4, everything in one long sentence. Okay, I couldn't differentiate where the one question stopped and the other one started. Okay, so guys, what I just want to say here with the rubric, so you guys obviously you would have seen at the beginning of this question that it is out of 40 marks. So I know the rubric, I'll explain now what I just said. So the rubric, you guys can see here, is out of 35 marks. They did let me know that they are going to change the rubric so that it is out of 40. Okay. Quickly, okay, let's quickly go back here. Okay, so guys, with specific of question 2, what I want you guys to, how I want the assignment structured is when we start with question 1. Okay, let's go all the way up to question 1. Okay, question 1. I want you to write question 1 bold and underlined. Okay, then you can start question 1.1 and you answer that one. Then you'll have question 1.2.1, answer that question, question 1.2.2, answer that one. You guys can do it exactly like it is here. So you can do it like that. Just have a Q 1.1. What you can also do, some students prefer to literally write it out, like question 1.1 underlined, and then they will start their question. Okay. When we go to question 2, guys, remember that if your questions are nicely separated, it is much easier to give you marks than when everything is kind of in one long paragraph and you have to kind of look for answers or look for things that you might have written. So what I want with question 2, what you guys can do is I want you can have question 2 bold, underlined, and then maybe start with 2.1, for instance, okay? You don't have to number your paragraphs if you don't want to. If you feel like you are going to feel much better if you number your paragraphs like 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, that is 100%. If you feel like you just want paragraph 1 is examples of your chosen organization, then the next paragraph you are going to discuss the reasons why your organization engages in CSR. Then 3 will be your next paragraph. That is fine, but I want you guys to separate your answers with spaces in between. Okay, does that make a little bit more sense to you guys? Okay, so guys, if everyone's happy, then let's move on to question 3. Okay, so question 3 says emerging economies are characterized by an increasing market orientation and an expanding economic foundation. The success of many of these economies is such that they are rapidly becoming major economic forces in the world. Entrepreneurship plays a key role in this economic development. What I want you guys to quickly do for me is quickly grab your textbooks. Okay, sorry, grab your textbooks and let me finish the question. In the light of the above quote, discuss the role of entrepreneurship in the South African economy. Okay, so guys, quickly grab your textbook and then let's quickly go to chapter 2 and let's quickly have a discussion about question 3. So guys, I want you to go to section 2.4 in your textbook, and I'm going to tell you guys now. Okay, 2.4 is on page 47. So guys, 2.4 talks about the entrepreneurship in South Africa. Okay, so entrepreneurship in South Africa, this is where I will start because it says here, discuss the role of entrepreneurship in the South African economy. So start with what does entrepreneurship look like in the South African economy. Then from there, move on to section 2.5, which is on page 51 of your textbook. And this is the role of entrepreneurs and small business owners in society. So first, talk about entrepreneurs in the South African economy. Think of how many entrepreneurs are there in South Africa? What is the South African market? Do they welcome Do they welcome entrepreneurs or not? How many, are there really training programs for entrepreneurs? Stuff like that. And then move on to the role of entrepreneurship in South Africa. So what role does entrepreneurship play in South Africa? Think of the fact that there are startups. People are seeing gaps in the market, for instance. So start very wide in terms of what is, like we now said, entrepreneurship in South Africa, and then bring it back to what role does the action of entrepreneurship play in South Africa. Guys, then what you can do, if you want to, is you can look at 2.6 and you can look at 2.6 and 2.7 as well, the traits and characteristics of entrepreneurs, if you want to grab something from there as well, maybe at the resources that is needed to start a business. But to be honest with you, I will focus on section 2.4 and 2.5 more in order to answer this question. Okay. Guys, other things that I just want to mention, please remember to number your questions. Okay, like I said, it is really difficult to mark a paper if there are no numbering. Okay, some students prefer to have each question on a separate page. I'm not bothered. If that makes you happy, more than welcome to do that. Other students like to only have question 3 in bold, underlined. Happiness, I don't mind. Okay, remember in text and bibliography. If you do not have in text or bibliography, your assignment is going to the academics, and you will be charged with level 1 plagiarism. And there are going to be no ifs and buts about it, guys. I'm really warning you about this. You guys should only use Harvard. Don't use law referencing. Biggest difference is that law referencing is footnotes. Harvard is in text. There are no footnotes in Harvard. Also, do not just have in-text referencing in the beginning or the end of the question and think that that is going to make me happy. It's not. Spoiler alert, it's not. Every time you say something that is already said by someone else, you have to reference. If I have to show you guys what my third year's assignments look like, how many references they have used, let me quickly see. Let me quickly check if I can find one of them for you. Let me just quickly grab one of the assignments for you so that you guys can see how they have done it. Okay, sorry guys, let me just quickly get this one. Okay, so let me show you guys here. So this is, for instance, one of my third year students. I will tell her that I've used her assignment, so don't worry. You guys can see Harvard. She nicely referenced to Harvard. Here's another one. According to Lowenfenter, okay, they had to do obviously other work than what you guys are doing. You guys can see that she's referencing everything that she says about that someone else has said. She references. Look at all her references. Okay, these are all the references that she has used. Every time you access something from an international website or like an internet website, you have to say when you accessed that specific website. But guys, you'll see this inside of your Harvard guides as well. Let me quickly see if I can find one of the other students as well that also referenced very nicely. Okay, yeah, that's about it. There's another one that I know also referenced very nicely. Okay, Lufono, let's quickly go back to question 1. let's quickly explain question 1 again to you guys. Let me just quickly find it. Okay, so Lafuna, is there anything specific that you want me to explain to you, Shantae? There are, I'm trying to think of what you guys can do if you want to know how to reference. The information specialists, like I said, the librarians, they are excellent at referencing, and they actually have referencing workshops as well. So go to them and ask them if they can assist you with your referencing. Just say to them, listen, I just need some extra help. I know that they are always willing to help students with anything. And that's why I also said to you, if you're struggling to find something on a specific, or just some information on a specific topic, go to them. Yeah, I mean, they're very friendly. So go to them and they will definitely help you look for it. Okay, so guys, let's quickly just go through question 1, just for if anyone is still struggling with question 1. Lufunu, I'm also busy recording this session, so you're more than welcome to listen to the recording. So guys, question 1.1 is on chapter 4, if you maybe haven't written it down yet. And it talks about the competitive forces of the industry. So remember the bargaining power of buyers, bargaining power of suppliers, the rivalry between competitors, threat of new entrants, and you guys are going to judge me, threat of new entrants and the threat of substitute products. Okay, that's the other one. So you need to actually, guys, like we said, go back to the basics, go back to the theory. Name the 5 forces, explain the 5 forces. After you've done that, then bring in your case study and give examples of each force in relation to your case study. Then question 1.2.1, describe the type of economic system in South Africa. So guys, with this question, you don't have to refer back to the case study. You just have to describe the economic system in South Africa. And obviously, you have to defend why you are saying that. If you are saying that we're living in a communist country, you need to explain why you are saying that we live in a communist country. So make your statement and explain why you said that. Question 1.2.2, the implications of Airbnb. Should South Africa implement a command economy? So command economy is communism. Okay, what will happen if we all of a sudden have a communist economy? Then environmental scanning. So with environmental scanning, you need to clearly write an essay on your environmental scanning and what you think environmental scanning is. Guys, with what I want you guys to do for me, I'm just worried that it might be in the memo. With these 15-point answers, like question 1.3, as well as question 2, okay? Yes, that's what I want to say, Palesa. I want you guys to use it as essay format. So just have a short introduction for me, your body, and then a short conclusion, okay? So just like short, guys, like 2 sentences for introduction, have your body, and then like 2 sentences for a conclusion, okay? Because because I was talking about the different words, I am thinking that this might be on a rubric, and that they might treat this as an essay. Okay, so question 1.3 as well as question 2, you need to have introduction, body, and a conclusion. Okay, 1.4, with reference to the case study above, describe the 3 types of resources. So we've said we have 4 types of resources: capital, human resources, entrepreneurship, and raw materials. And they are asking which 3 resources that they need the most. They needed capital, entrepreneurship, and human resources. They didn't really need raw materials. Okay. So guys, yeah, that's it. So that's everything. If there's anything else that you guys want me to discuss that you may be unsure about, please let me know. I saw here with the essay marking rubric, if I quickly go here, they say there, introduction and conclusion. Okay. So with question 2, you definitely need your introduction and your conclusion. That's 5 marks, 5 or 10, depending on how they're going to change the rubric. Guys, and then I wanted to use, obviously, you need to use proper resources. We have talked about proper resources. I don't want you guys to write gibberish thinking that it's going to be okay. You guys are studying at a higher education institution. So just writing nonsense that you thought of the previous night is not okay. Also, guys, what I also said to the other group, give yourself a time. So speaking under correction, assignments are due at 11:30 and take-home tests are due at 9 o'clock, right? Okay, I think I'm right. So give yourself a time, even if it's 7 o'clock at night. Say to yourself that my assignment is going to be done at 7 o'clock. Then from 7 to 8, I'm going to read what I've written, fix a few things if the sentence is not making sense, do my references, and by 8 o'clock, I'm handing in my assignment. Guys, I have all 4 of my programs, or all 4 of my first year modules are handing in on the 14th of June. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is that it's not just you guys handing in on the 14th of June, and it's not just Varsity College that's handing in on the 14th of June. We have Rosebank and Vega as well, and they also will have assignments that are due on that day. So don't leave it for 25 minutes past 11 thinking that the system is not going to be slow, thinking that the system is not going to be backed up. If your assignment is handed in after 11:30, it will not be marked. Okay, and then you'll have to contact the CROs and ask them for the next steps with reference to what you can do now for the fact that you handed in your assignment late. So just give yourself a time that you feel you want your assignment to be handed in. If you say to yourself the previous day, it can be the previous day, guys, but I don't want you guys to leave it for anything later than 10 o'clock, to be honest. 10 o'clock is already quite late. I'm gonna take a guess and say that is when you're supposed to go to bed already, or am I just old? Okay, but do not leave it for very late. The system is going to be backed up and you are going to have an issue with handing in. Okay, and no amount of bribes or tears is going to get me to mark your assignment. Guys, when is the assignment due? Remember they changed your pass. It is due on the 14th of June. Remember it was the 7th. And then version 3 of the pass that came out on the 23rd of April. Your assignment is due on the 14th of June. 14th of June, there. Okay, the 14th of June. So guys, also another tip that I can give you is start off your assignment now already. I know that you guys have tests. I know that you guys have ISIN and everything else, but start off your assignment now. Even if you just do one question a week. Okay, you guys can do one question a week and you guys will still be done with all the questions by the time the assignment is due. Okay, guys, there's one more thing that I want to discuss. Let me just quickly grab my book. Okay, when is the test coming out? So guys, your test, you guys will only get them 21 hours before the test is due. So the test is due on the 28th of May. Just give me 2 seconds to one check. The 28th of May is a Friday. So you guys will then get it the Thursday morning. Okay. So the Thursday morning, the test will come out, and you will only have the whole of Thursday and Friday until 9 o'clock to do your test. Tests, because it's take home, needs to be referenced as well. I will just double check. I know last year they wanted 2 or more references. I don't think they're going to do that this year. But what I can do for you guys with regards to the test, I actually want to tell you guys tomorrow, but it's fine. I can't help you with your test, guys. Unfortunately, I can't help you like I did now with the assignment. But when you guys get the test, I get the test at the same time because we use the same system. So I can quickly scan the test, and the only thing that I'm going to tell you guys is if you need to reference, if you have to reference and it's only one source, just use your textbook. Okay, do not waste time with Google and stuff like that. You're not going to have time. So if they don't require more than one reference, just use your textbook. Honestly, guys, just use your textbook. So, guys, what I want to say to you, what we have to do, guys, we have to do ICE Task 3, which is the Vodacom case study, and the Vodacom case study is on corporate social responsibility. This was actually a question in a past paper. So I quickly want to check with you guys, and do not throw daggers at me, please. Let's quickly get a due date for ICE for you guys. Let me just quickly go through your past as well. Okay, we have 26 May, June. Okay. Guys, can we agree on ICE for the 20th of May? Okay, that is still before your take-home test. That I want you guys to do this ICE for me. Okay, the 20th of May. Will that be fine? Guys, tomorrow, there's another ICE coming. Okay, so luckily tomorrow's ICE is a short one. But can we agree for the 20th of May? Everyone happy with 20 May? Like I said, don't throw daggers at me. Thank you. Okay, so I will load the case study for you guys. Guys, really, I don't want you guys to write books and books. Just answer what is asked. There are 2 questions with this case study. Like I said, all the answers are inside of the case study. Okay, so it's not a very hard case study. But guys, then that's it. So if you guys don't have any other questions, this then concludes the class for today.